Thanks very much. And yes, I've been around politics for a while, almost as long as Verity Firth, but it's in and out. More election losses than wins is the story of my career. So I want to start by acknowledging the traditional custodians of country we're on, the Darug people of the Burramattagal clan as the traditional custodians of the land, and I'll acknowledge any Indigenous people who are here present with us today, elders past and present. Can I thank the Teachers Guild for having me along to speak? I've been told now at least twice that you've had a presentation on how to give a good presentation, so no pressure for any of the rest of us who follow, but here we go. But it's great to be a part of your forum here today. I'm sure that you will have heard a lot of you will be hearing from a lot of people who can talk about the context of vocational training in schools and the importance of it. And I'm coming to you from a government which I think is demonstrating really clearly the value that we place on teachers in New South Wales, the importance that we place on education from the work that we've already done, and supporting teachers to do what they do best, to deliver the skills that our future workforce needs. I do want to acknowledge that there's a range of speakers here today who are going to be talking about some of these issues in more detail and giving you some insight into the work that government's doing. We've got Verity Firth and Jason Ardler who are here with us, who've been on the VET review panel, and I'll talk a little bit about that some more as we go through. That's been a really important part of the way that we're planning for the future of vocational training in New South Wales. Also, two key Department of Education leaders who you've already heard from, Ellen Lynchins, Director of Pathways and Transition this morning, and Steve Montgomery, Manager of Pathways and Vocational Education Strategies and Skills and Pathways, who you're going to be hearing from a bit later on. I'm sure that you all understand the value of vocational education and training in New South Wales. We hear every day about the challenges that we've got in many of our sectors in terms of skills and workforce. It really is a big challenge. We've got the need to build more houses. We need to do that with a workforce which is short of the people who actually have to deliver those houses, so construction trades and so on. We've got an ageing population which needs more people in aged care, in nursing homes obviously, but also in healthcare, areas where we're also short on skills. And a whole range of areas to support the transition to renewables across the state as well. So electrotechnology and all those skills we need to have a workforce which can cater for the renewable energy zones as we move forward. So the vocational education side of things is really vitally important, and we do need to be providing that education for people as they go forward, not only for our economy and for the workforce of the future, but because they provide fantastic jobs and lifestyles for people. And we really want to be building a workforce, building a state where we compete with the rest of the world by having highly skilled, high-paid people who get great lifestyles for their futures. And education and vocational education is a key part of that. So we've got a great opportunity at the moment where we've been looking at the focus on skills. We've got a federal government which is also really keen to make sure that we're doing more in the vocational training sectors, which is also embarked on a review of the tertiary sector, and that says we need, the report said 9 out of every 10 school leavers to be doing a post-school qualification. 4 out of those 10 need to be in the vocational sector. So we've got a great alignment of demand. We've got 2 levels of government which are in sync about the way that they want to address it, and I think terrific opportunities over the next few years. But opportunities which are not easy, they're things which we actually are going to have to work hard on to actually get where we want to be. We want to make sure that whether people are in regional, remote or metro areas, that they get the same sort of access to vocational education and training. And we want to make sure that we are providing a system which acknowledges that there is people who need a lot greater level of wraparound support for their education and training needs, whether they're from remote areas, whether they're from disadvantaged communities. Those are all focuses for the way that we're trying to go in New South Wales at the moment. Our vocational pathways for secondary school students are really critically important, and we do want to increase the number of secondary students across the school sectors, government and non-government, who are undertaking VET courses with school-based apprenticeships and traineeships and the other forms that we have to go through. We've got a significant increase in approvals in 2024 for school-based apprenticeships, but I think we'd all want to see more being done to smooth those and make it easier for people to undertake those processes. We have a New South Wales apprenticeship and traineeship roadmap, which aims to strengthen the apprenticeships and traineeships model. And we obviously have the first cohort of students this year undertaking the HSC who will benefit from the ATAR reforms to allow multiple VET units to count towards the students' ATAR, providing more pathways for students. And I think that was a really significant reform. The government is committed to supporting a high level of collaboration across government and non-government school sectors for VET and secondary students programs. And we certainly recognise the benefit of more collaboration in those areas. We do want to see teachers from government and non-government sectors participating in similar VET training programs to make sure that we have the same standards right across the sector. And externally delivered VET programs managed by the department help to give students head starts in industries of their choosing. I've been really pleased that we've been able to, in the last budget, extend programs like the Regional Industry Education Partnerships program, which is producing some great results. And I get particularly, I guess in this sort of position, a lot of what you get is the anecdotal stories of people who've been helped with these programs. And that has been something which is really providing great links across from industry and into our vocational training programs. I visited Madura Tea in northern New South Wales, where they had a number of students from a non-government and government secondary schools coming in and doing some of their social media marketing with them. And a large number of them were actually going on to do their placements with that company that was involved with that. So that's really positive to see those sort of things going on right across areas of New South Wales where these programs are in place. We certainly recognise the critical role of VET teachers in schools, and we've been working with the Commonwealth Government to develop a blueprint for the VET teaching workforce that aims to address quality and supply issues that we do have across the workforce at the moment. One of the significant steps forward was the recent national change to VET teacher accreditation, which recognises the skills and knowledge of secondary teachers. So as of January 2024, secondary school teachers no longer had to complete the Certificate 4 in training and assessment to become accredited. And from the feedback I've had from people who've undertaken that program, that's a really positive move to acknowledge the skills that tertiary educated teachers already have and bring to that sector. That does significantly reduce the amount of time school teachers need to be out of the classroom to get that VET accreditation. It reduces the cost to government and non-government schools and helps to get those VET teachers trained. We do know there's more work to do to make teaching VET subjects more appealing. I'm told the administrative workload is still higher than non-VET subjects, and that the additional burden of maintaining the skills currency can be something which is not conducive to teachers participating. So we're keen to continue to work in those areas. I guess the most significant thing, and you're going to hear a lot more about it in a moment after I finish, is the VET interim review and final report. We've had the interim review released for some time, and that's got some really clear guidance in there for government about particularly TAFE. We knew that when we came into government that we really had to focus initially on TAFE because we had seen 12 years where TAFE was significantly run down, where we saw a large drop-off in the number of people doing apprenticeships, and we were seeing real pressures in the teaching workforce in TAFE as well. So the panel has provided us with some really important messages there and guidance about how to improve the TAFE particularly, reducing the administrative workload there, making sure that we are considering the way that Smart and Skills interrelates across the vocational training sector, and particularly with TAFE. The next stage of the report has been handed to me but hasn't been released yet. So forgive the members of the panel if they're a bit guarded in what they say to you after this. But I can tell you from the parts of it that I've read already that there is a really strong focus in this report about how we do more to improve the links between secondary education and vocational training. And I think we'd probably all agree that's really important. There is a lot of food for thought for me about how to actually deliver on this and how to take this forward. But it does have a really strong focus about trying to make those links smoother, about trying to enhance the effectiveness of some of the programs. And some of the programs that I've talked about already, like the REAP program, which is only available in certain schools across New South Wales, how to take some of those programs which are available in particular areas and make them more widely accessible to people. Now, obviously, those things require resources as well as well-trained individuals to go about delivering those things. Those are challenges for government in a fiscally constrained environment, but they're challenges that really do need to be highlighted so that we can try to move forward and take our sector forward in a way which is delivering the services that we need it to do, that picks up those people who need the additional assistance and that makes the links. And when you particularly look at some of the areas, for instance, in New South Wales, where we have those high training needs, that construction sector, where we still have such a small proportion of the construction workforce that's women, and where those programs like the REAP can really help us to actually link with girls in secondary schools and help them and their parents to understand that this is an option for their future employment, and vice versa in those programs, those industries which are female-dominated at the moment, and where there might be men and male students who can understand those links better. I mean, I think some of the images I have, some fantastic programs we've got out there at the moment for vocational training in secondary schools, and I visited one in the west of Sydney fairly early days, and I went into the construction-related class, 100% boys. I went into the class that was looking at aged care, and 100% girls. And it's just a really clear need to start to break down some of those gender-specific stereotypes that we have there, but also the stereotypes and the expectations of parents as well, that vocational training often isn't their first choice. We know, and I'm sure many of us are guilty of it, those of expecting that our kids will pick the tertiary, the university path as their first path. And we really need to make sure that parents and students understand that the vocational sector offers them amazingly well-paid jobs in many cases and great lifestyles for the future, and may help them to stay engaged in education for longer. So it's a really strong theme of the VET review and of the work this government is doing to try and make sure that we are ensuring that we can build those links better between secondary education and our vocational sector. As I said, the first report we've got focuses very strongly on TAFE. The final report is going to continue that work, but build more into the way that we have those links, the way that we build our workforce, and the way that we look at the Smart and Skilled program, which is the contestable program to ensure that we're delivering across New South Wales. It is something which I'm very excited about as Minister. I think we've got some great opportunities in the vocational training sector, and that, as I've said, is to build us a workforce which is not only looking at the economic future of New South Wales, but looking at how we give our young people the opportunities for highly paid, highly skilled jobs as they move forward in their lives. We want them to have the highest living standards and the greatest satisfaction out of their lifestyles, and we want to make sure that we are putting in place something which doesn't leave people behind. We really can't afford to have, in a workforce that's so full of skill shortages, people who miss out because they're from a remote rural area, that they're in an Indigenous community, or they've got a disability. So all those things are going to be strong focuses as we move forward. I'm looking forward to that challenge. I'm sure that you will hear more from Verity and Jason about the way that the VET review is heading in that direction, And I thank you all for your work, whether you're in a government school, non-government school. I know there's many of you who are from organisations who build the links with the work placements and so on. You're all a really important part of that picture. And if over the next however long I've got in this position, I can help that sector to link more smoothly together and have the pathways more obvious and clear for our young people going into it, then I'll have achieved what I want to do. So thanks for having me today. Good luck with the rest of it.
Thank you so much. To know that he has the final report in his hot little hands, a little bit jealous about that. So the secrets are there. But thank you so much for taking time out of your schedule to come and speak to us. A small gift on behalf. Thank you, Bridie.
Thank you very much.